Hey crawlers, what's up? Hey, I just wanted to show you some of the modifications that had to been done to do the motor drop conversion. All it does is this whole complete motor transmission mount right here can be clocked in any direction, 360 degrees. A lot of guys don't know that when they put their trail finders together, or the RTR guys don't know this because their trucks are already put together. But I got this from a tip from a guy named David at the end of a video on one of Medic's videos. And this really closes that gap, or that performance gap that SCX10s have on Trailfinder 2s. This really made a big difference. Anyway, let's get started. Right here at the front of the motor, I had to cut off a tab right here. You know, assuming that if somebody was going to run a steering servo sideways, which it can't anyway because the motor's in the way no matter how you look at it. And then right here, this cross member right here, which is a pretty thick cross member and doesn't really need to go all the way across. I had to cut that off too. That bolts up to the steering servo. Then you use the other piece, still bolts on back over here. And then right over here, let's move these wires out of the way. I had to cut off the fourth mount because there's normally 4 of these that bolts the motor plate, but I'm running only 3 and it's held up really well. And when I have this thing geared right on 4S, it'll hit close to 20 miles an hour. I mean, extremely powerful Holmes Hobbies revolver motor that I'm running, and it seems to hold up fine. Now, just remember, these trucks really weren't made to run brushless, but with the right modifications, they hold up really well. Like the helical cut gears, you know, the curved gears, and some good drive lines, and some XVDs in the front. They hold up really well. Anyway, let's see what else. I'm also running the O-ring conversion. It's little O-rings down here below the leaf springs, but above the axles. Instead of the 2 little short bolts, you know, one going through here and then one going down, it's one long bolt running all the way through. And with the nylon lock nut on top, just give a little bit of preload, get those leaf springs clamped together just a little bit. And with the 90mm Proline shocks I'm running with internal RC4WD drive soft springs, it's just super soft plush suspension. I mean, it goes through a field really nice. I mean, not like a full-blown Baja truck, but really well. A lot of people were talking about having issues with the linkage. I dropped my servo down from being mounted on top of the chassis to underneath, and that puts the steering linkage in a better position where you don't have the bump steer. Also, the servo horn is going to the rear, but I got a good 1/8 inch clearance at full compression, so that's about it. And articulation seems to clear pretty good. See, it still shows a little bit. And I also run the leakage on top. You know, get a good look at that. I also moved the shock to the rear instead of in between here so it wouldn't be hitting. Another simple modification to give a better approach angle is my bumper. It's actually a rear bumper I put on the front, but I cut it up and I mounted on top, drilled new holes, and moved it back. So my approach angle is a lot better. See? Got a great approach angle on there. And another modification I did, which was a simple bolt-on, is I'm using 0.750 offset hubs it makes the truck almost as wide as my Comp 1.9 truck. If you're looking for the O-rings, to the O-ring modification right here, which gives you more flex, here's the part number. I got it at Home Depot. And these are the O-rings. You need 4 O-rings per side. And here's the internal spring tuning kit that RC4WD Drive sells. It's like $10-12, well worth the money. It's part number Z-S1181. Another modification that a lot of people don't think about is they use heavy spare tires. Well, I won't use a heavy spare tire because it destroys your center of gravity. So I run foam and a tire cover. And this is why I save my parts trees plastics, because you can make stuff with them. This was simple, very simple mount I made for the back. And that's just a bottom, that's just a piece of plastic I cut out. Also my winch that I use to pull other people out or up a hill is a 480 KMS. This thing will pull, it's also free spool from that button right there. It's 480 ounces, and you know, KMS just makes great servo winches. This one pulls over 100 pounds. It has a 100-pound test string. It usually breaks around 60 pounds, which is a great safety feature because this way the winch won't break. And if there's any other questions, just ask. Hope I didn't leave anything out. Anyway, you guys crawl hard, have fun. That's what it's all about.